friends, it's Kara here with Kinsley's Creative Palette, and I am here tonight to craft our very last DIY home decor box. If you have been following me for a while, you know that last January we started a new subscription, and it was a new home decor box every single month. And I shipped you all the stuff to make the project. And sadly, that is coming to a close, and I'm going to talk to y'all all about that tonight while I craft. I made a public announcement. Hi, Anna. I made a public announcement a couple weeks ago to let you know that some changes were coming, that I felt like I had been disobedient to what God had called me to do. Hello, Miss Melissa. For a while now, and that finally he got through to me and said, this is it, enough is enough. So anyway, that being said, I'm gonna miss the box, and this is actually probably one of my favorite boxes that we packed the whole time we were doing it. Sorry guys, I'm going old school on the way I'm going live tonight, and I'm trying to stream into my group, but I am struggling to find the video so I can share it over into my group. So y'all hang tight for just a second, and as soon as I find it, oh, here we go. Okay, let me see if I can do it this way. As soon as I find it and I can share it, or if one of you are in my private group, if y'all could share it over, that would be fabulous. Why am I having so much trouble tonight? Okay, let me go out of there and back in. Anyway, so hello, Linda. So what I was going to say is I felt like I was being disobedient and that I was supposed to quit the box and the virtual paint party membership. And so this is the last box. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Did you just sprinkle that into the group? I appreciate that. So this is the last DIY home decor box, and let me show you what we're going to be making tonight. It's a 3-part set. It's 3 pieces right here. Hello, Kimberly. So we've got these. They're all snowman themed, and I tried to do red, white, and black so that you could do like a whole tiered tray look, or you could do like shelf sitters, however you wanted to do it. So that is what we are working on tonight. But what I wanted to say is this will be the last home decor box, and then next week I will be shipping the last virtual paint party sign, and then I'm gonna go in. I've already canceled all of the home decor box memberships. Those are all canceled. But I do still need to go in and do the virtual paint party after this last one. Okay, so Anna says yes, she sprinkled it into the private group. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna not worry about that. And if for some reason it's not in there or it doesn't show up or needs approval or something, I will do that as soon as I get off. Okay, so next week is when I'm shipping the last of the virtual paint party signs, and that is the door hanger membership. So after that, I'll go in and cancel all of those memberships. But I want to tilt this down and show you, okay, I'm going to tilt this down and show you this box. So my box is a little bit bigger than most of the boxes that I shipped out, but this is the instruction sheet that I sent, oh, it's upside down, to everyone. And then you've got some paper to put down on your table. I did some really fun snowman paper. And then you've got all of these fun components in your box. So let's get to crafting. The very first thing, sorry friend, very first thing that we're gonna do is a lot of paint. So I tried to kind of simplify this by doing the 3 colors. So all we're doing is we're gonna paint black, white, and orange, and then we will be Mod Podging for a little bit. So I'm gonna put this down. Hello, Miss Alicia. Straighten this paper. And I'm gonna get my pieces out. Get this fun baggie full of crafty stuff. Okay, so there's one, there's two. I'm gonna need more room. So let me add some more paper so I can do all this at the same time. I'm just gonna put more down here. And these fun patterns are done with napkins. So in your box, you had this Let It Snow napkin, and then you had a buffalo check napkin. You also had a glove and a couple different paintbrushes. And I'm gonna set these out. So this piece and this piece will be painted black. This piece is white. And then the frames will be white on the inside and black on the outside. Now, you didn't have to paint white on the inside, but I'm going to show you, if I have it, what I found and the reason I decided to do the white. Okay, there's not a huge difference, but let me just show you what it looks like if you do the white versus not painting the white. This is without painting the white. This is with. Can you see how much brighter the Let It Snow is, and how this, you can kind of see the wood grain? So I wanted mine like super bright white. So I did paint that white, and then I also did it under the buffalo check. All right, so let's just get started. Now, you can use the paintbrushes that are included, or if you want to speed it up, because I can't, my favorite paintbrushes, if y'all have been with me for a while, Kimberly, no, as of now, I won't have any more memberships for a while. I don't know what the future holds, but no, I won't have any memberships. It didn't, something just, I wasn't supposed to be doing it. So no, I won't. Okay, so let me tilt this back down. Gosh, thank you for sprinkling, friends. All right, y'all know these are my favorite brushes, but I can't buy these. I love this size. I use it for just about everything, but I can't buy these in bulk, like 100 pack of these. So this is as big as I could do the bulk brushes, and it's either that or this. We do oftentimes, I send you a chip brush, but those I feel like don't paint as well. So either way, oh, Anna, I'll still be around. I still have plans to come live and do fun stuff. I just, like I said, I don't know what the future holds. Hello, Miss Lisa. So I'm going to use this brush, but you can use one of these if you want to, or you can grab a brush out of your stash. Now, excuse me. I've got a paper plate that I'm going to put my paint on just because I don't have a lot of room. But in your baggie of fun stuff, you have some wood pieces. You need to go ahead and grab those because this will need to be painted white and this will need to be painted black. And then you've got a couple more. Let's see. This piece needs to be painted black. And there's two noses. All right, two noses. Okay, so these will be painted orange. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set all of these kind of around here. Let's put the black up here. I have a bag under here, it's bothering me. Okay, I'm not gonna put my gloves on. I planned on it, but I'm not going to. Okay, so white and white, 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 black, 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 and all this black. So saying that, I'm gonna start with my white. All right, so I've got white paint here. This is chalk paint, and this actually is a little bit dry. So I'm gonna stick my paintbrush in water and I'm gonna kind of thin this out. Friends, normally we don't have to do this, but sometimes, especially when our packages go through the mail and it's been cold, they can get like that. So I just added a little bit of water to that, and I'm just gonna brush that white paint in here. Like I said, this is a chalk paint, so it is a little bit thicker than normal. All right. What I love about this project is you don't have to be really specific, like careful with what you're doing, because all this white is going to get covered up anyway. You're just doing this so that there's a bright white in your background. All right, move this one over here. Do this one. Let me add a little bit more water. Now, if you got your package and you're like, wait, Kara, I've got two things that look like white paint. This one with the pink top, is Mod Podge. Okay, so that is what that is. Kimberly, I'm sorry. I will still, like I said, I still plan on being live some. I just have felt like I need to be obedient, and the memberships were not what I was at this point, or maybe it's the right memberships. I don't know, but it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So we'll see, but I don't plan on just disappearing altogether. Promise. All right, now I'm gonna put white paint on this, but I will still be able to see the etched lines underneath, because we're gonna end up, did that? Oh, I didn't put one in here. You got a marker in your box, and we're gonna use the marker and make our smiley face on our snowman. Okay, so I'm just painting all these quickly, quick coat of paint on all the things that need to be white. Y'all should have seen me cutting all these little bitty blocks. Oh, it was a riot. And man, I'll tell y'all, part of the reason that I finally surrendered, isn't it funny how sometimes it takes like the Lord like stopping us in our tracks? But what happened was, every month it got harder and harder to pack the boxes, whether it was because I was in the middle of moving or couldn't get materials, whatever it was. And this last month, I had gone and I had purchased $450 worth of new wood, and got back, got it unloaded. Same wood I've been using in my laser now for over a year, and I couldn't get any of it cut. And it was crazy because one day I was standing out in the garage. Was standing out in the garage one day trying to cut my wood, and it was like I was banging my head against the wall, and it was like the Lord said, how many doors do I have to close before you'll listen? And I mean, it was almost audible. I mean, his voice was almost audible. And I thought, Lord, you're right. You're absolutely right. You've been closing doors left and right, and I am like knocking holes through these concrete walls. And anyway, so it was at that moment, I'm like, you know what? I've got to make the decision to just do it. So anyway, that's where I've been and what's kind of going on. So I've got white on all of those pieces, and now I'm going to put some black paint on. But enough about that. What have y'all been doing over the holidays? Is everybody back to work? My husband always takes off from about Christmas Eve through New Year's. And this year, we got my son tickets to go see the Titans versus the Dolphins this upcoming weekend. And so he's not going back to work until I think it's the 4th. And it's so nice, but it's also, I saw a post on Facebook yesterday that said, does anybody else feel like all they've eaten is cheese and you have no idea what day it is. That's kind of how, like, that's where I'm at. No idea what day it is. Feel like my belly's full of cheese. Just ate a vegetable, actually. That's why I was running a little bit late. I jumped in the shower, and I threw dinner in the oven before I jumped in the shower, and when I got out, it just took longer to get everybody settled and eat. Then take this week off, and we were up north in the, oh, Kimberly, you're in the cabin in the snow. I'm so jealous. I miss the snow. I do like Alabama. I'm enjoying living here, starting to get adjusted, but I really miss the snow. And I know it's funny because there's so many of my friends from Ohio that did not love the snow. I really did. I really enjoyed the snow. All right. This part is a little bit more tedious just because these pieces are little. Let's see. Oh. But I do want to get them all covered. These are going to be the little, this is going to be his little top hat. Let's see. But yeah, so we're going to take my kiddos and go to Nashville for a couple of days. That'll be super nice. Kinsley and I are not going to the game. I would love to go to the game, but I knew she wouldn't want to go. And so she and I are going to do some girl stuff. Kimberly says she likes just being able to visit the snow. That is totally understandable. What part of Arizona do you live in? Don't laugh, but I was watching Seeking Sister Wives this morning, or Sister Wives, whatever it's called. I don't know if no, not Seeking, the regular Sister Wives. And my husband was asking where they live now, and I told him Arizona and Central Alabama, and it was 82. Cindy, I'm not sure. We are in, I guess, Northern Alabama. We're in Fort Payne, and it was almost 70 today. It may have gotten up to 70. I'm not sure. But I left the house earlier in shorts, and I thought, this is crazy. I would have never left in Zanesville, Ohio in shorts in December. But you're in Mason. So how far is that from Flagstaff? 82, yeah, that's, my family's all in Texas, and it's been that way for them too. It's just been unseasonably hot. My dogs, I can hear them. They're outside barking. They're like, Mom, what are you doing? Let us in. Put us on the couch. All right. Almost done. I'm trying to get in all these little cracks. And then we'll paint the edges of our frame. And I think, except for putting a little bit more on here, I'm going to just do a quick second coat. So friends, all we're doing right now is we're painting all of our pieces, all the different colors. So black, white, and then we'll get the orange open here in a minute. Okay, so there's that. Oh, see a little bit more. Woman, Yadira, how are you, love? I see you just popped on. I'm friends, if y'all are like, what is she doing? I'm rinsing my hands off in my water cup because I've got paint all over them. Okay, I think that that is pretty much all done. So now I'm gonna thin this black paint out just a little bit, and I'm gonna paint my frame out, the exterior part. Trying to not make a humongous mess tonight. So y'all want to hear some funny Christmas stories? I want to know some of y'all's funny Christmas stories, because I come on and I tell y'all my life craziness and I let y'all laugh at me, but I need to laugh at y'all too. So if y'all have something to share, pop it up here so we can all get a good giggle. So we got up Christmas morning and opened presents, and I had taken my kids and one of their friends to Sevierville last week, to the Great Wilderness or Wilderness at the Smokies, the water park resort. And we came back a day early just because I wanted to sleep in my own bed and be home the full day for Christmas Eve. So we got back, did presents, and we were going to leave and go see my husband's family in Birmingham on Christmas Day. So that morning I got up, my husband bought me a new mattress topper for our bed, and I got up that morning and thought, before we leave, I'm going to wash my sheets, put the sheets back on the bed, and put my new mattress topper on before we leave. That way, when we get back, my sheets will be ready, and I can just jump right into bed. So while I'm getting dressed, I'm drying the sheets, and I go to put them all back on the bed, and two of our dogs, our boy dogs, wear diapers because they're bad and they will TT in my house. So my husband he grabbed one of the dogs, Sammy, the little brown, he's a Chiweenie. He grabbed Sammy and got up on the bed with him. And we have the split king mattresses. And so I had just put our bed back together. And he gets Sammy and puts him up on the bed. And I noticed that his diaper's not on right. So I go to adjust it. Friends, can I just tell you that I went to adjust that dog's diaper and he peed all over my new mattress topper and my clean sheets. Yep, Christmas morning, my dog peed on my bed. So thankfully, it was all washable. And I texted my in-laws and said, we're going to get a little bit of a late start because now I need to rewash my sheets and mattress topper and make sure I get them in the dryer before we leave town. So yeah, that was the funny story at Christmas dinner, was my dog that wears diapers still managed to pee on my bed. Friends, I love my animals, but there are times they drive me absolutely batty. Anybody else have a funny Christmas story that you just day didn't quite go as you expected it to? It was still a really good time though. We had a good trip and got to see all of his brothers and sister-in-laws, and so that was pretty nice. And we had so much food. My goodness, there was a lot of food. All right, so one more side, and then I need to do the insides. But I'm actually going to have to switch to a smaller brush to do the insides. What's everybody up to tonight? that down, paint the top. Let's see, I can't. Hello, Miss Laura. Lisa says her fur babies drive her nuts too, but that she loves them. Yep, they do for sure. Y'all know we moved back in August. Our stuff finally got here. I guess it was toward the end of August, beginning of September. And we've been just doing all kinds of construction on the house since we moved in. We had the wall that's behind me. Hey, Alicia. The wall that's behind me we had built. Anyway, we've had a lot. But last Monday, they finished up the dog's room addition. Like we closed in the room. It was a porch, and we closed it in for the dogs. And so we were able to get them all moved in there before Christmas and kind of get that a little bit cleared out, our house a little bit cleared out. Okay, eating popcorn and watching me craft. Love it. Okay, I'm dipping back into my white real quick. We're not all the way done with the black, but I want to put a quick second coat on my snowman face. So I'm going to touch up any white that needs it. But I'm going to do for sure my snowman face needs it. All right. Okay, and then this piece, I painted everything except the bottom. I want to go ahead and paint that, but I was letting it dry on the other side so I could flip it over. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of paint on that. Okay, now I'm going to throw that brush in the water. All right, friends, I'm trying to figure out what order I want to do this in. I want to put the top on the black paint for now, and I want to blow dry. And I'm going to show you why here in a minute. We're going to do some Mod Podge and some with the napkins. And I want to be able to kind of touch up. I realize that y'all can just see like my chin. So let me, while we blow dry, I'll angle that up for a second and talk to you. But I want to do the Mod Podge part of it and then go back and paint the inside of the frame. Okay, anybody else keep a blow dryer on their craft table? So cute. This is what we're making. Making this and this and this tonight. So. Okay, so those are the three things that we're working on. I'll scrub myself down a little bit later. But I've got all of my pieces are pretty much painted. Let me show y'all. Okay, so I've got my black hat pieces are painted. And I'm just going to kind of start setting these off to the side so that I have some room to do the Mod Podge. Black hat pieces. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Laura. Here is the block for my snowman. And then I've got two of these painted. I painted the outsides and the inside white, but you can see I still need to paint the inside of the frame. But I don't want to do that yet, and the reason is I want to do that after I napkinize. So let me move this. Let me grab, should have put this on before, but I didn't. Let me put my gloves on. I need my scissors, my napkins. I thought I had a ruler over here, but I guess I don't. My other napkin, or another, where my other glove went. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use, I had to open, actually I don't, because I found my other little Mod Podge. Okay, so here is our Mod Podge. This is the one that came with the kit. And I need to cut my napkins down to size. Let me do that first. Let me take my glove off to do that. So what we've got is I've got this one that's gonna go inside one of them. We don't need the whole thing. And then I've got this one, which we're gonna use the majority of that square. So I'll go ahead and start kind of rough cutting these. All right, just cut it as straight as you can, but we just need the one Let It Snow side. Now you're gonna need to figure out what side you want to put your little snowman. When I say your little snowman, this is the one I'm talking about. This little bitty snowman that we're gonna make with beads here in just a second, okay? Because what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna move your napkin slightly off center so that you have room to put the snowman, that he doesn't cover up your words. Okay, so if you wanted him on this side, then you would move your napkin, you know, slightly over that way. So now I'm just gonna take this, make sure it's dry before you set your napkin and start measuring on it. Make sure it's dry. And then we're gonna just kind of set it in here. And I'm gonna crease it. I'm gonna set it in there where I want it. And then I'm gonna crease it and pull it back out and cut it. Okay, so I'm just kind of creasing it with my fingers. So just using my nail, and I just creased it. Okay, so now I can see exactly where I need to cut. Now, the reason that I had not already painted the outside is because I'm going to do that after I put the napkin in, and I'm going to paint all the way up to the edge of the napkin. All right. Now, I'm going to separate my napkin by licking my two fingers and then just using those to pull it apart. And I don't remember if this was a 2-ply or a 3-ply, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll do it one more time to see if there's another ply. So you're going to pull it apart so you have this, the thinnest piece of tissue paper. Let's see if this has more. Nope. Nope, that's it. Okay, so then we will, in just a second, we're going to Mod Podge that one in, but we're going to do the same thing with this one. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of set it in there. It'll be even on two sides. And then I will crease it. Uh-oh, hold on. You know how I told y'all a second ago to make sure that your black was dry? Don't want to get it all over my napkin. Got some areas that aren't. Just a second, friends. Let me get a wipe. Clean my hand off real quick so I don't mess up my whole napkin. All right. Well, hello, Miss Terry. How are you tonight? All right. Guys, I've got paint all over me. how is it that this little bitty craft project and I have managed to get paint all over me? Okay, so now let's try this now that that's dry. Move that over here. So I'm gonna set it so that it's flush on two sides. It's harder when the napkin's bigger. You could cut this down first if you wanted to, so that it's a smaller size, but I'm just gonna roll with it. You just want to kind of set it in there and then crease it. And the good news about the buffalo check is you can cut right along the lines. So like I can see which line I need to cut along, and then I can pull my napkin out and I can just go all the way down. Thank you, Miss Terry. Thank you, Miss Alicia. All right. Hopefully, I'm going to double check this one because I have extra of this in case I cut it too small. But let me pull this apart. This one looks like it is 3-ply. So I'm going to need to pull 2 layers off. Now, sometimes you can get lucky and you can do both layers at the same time. But just be real careful that you don't rip the layer you're trying to use. Okay, so I just was able, let me show you. Let me show you these. There's 2 of these white layers. Here they are. Can you see that? And I was able to pull both of them off at the same time, but you can't always do that. All right, so now I've got those pieces. Okay, friends, it is time to Mod Podge. So we're gonna set that down. And we're going to do both of these at the same time. I'm going to use my stipple brush and my, what do you call it? Foam brush. But if you just have a foam brush, just use your foam brush. I've got to get this out of here first. So, okay. All right, so we're just going to take and use a generous coat of Mod Podge. Make sure that your box is turned with the handle or twine at the top. And then we're just gonna kind of slop it in there all the way to the sides. Okay. Oh, a little bit more. Stick that in there. Now we're going to line it back up. You only get one shot to line this up, okay? So you want to make sure when you do best you can. But please hear me say this. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if you mess up a little bit, we can disguise our mess ups. We're crafters. It's what we do. Tacked it all down. All right, can y'all see that? So now I've got one little spot right down here where I need to take my napkin and fold it up. And I need to fold it back down. I'm using my paintbrush. I'm just taking that crease, pulling it down. Now, it's okay. I want y'all to see. There's a little bit, that edge is not perfect. That's okay, we're gonna fix that. That's why we didn't paint that black yet. Okay. All right, we're gonna let this dry, this one dry, and we're gonna do this one. Okay, so more Mod Podge. Hi, Laura! Now, remember, make sure when you go to put your napkin in that your twine is at the top. This one isn't quite as specific as the other, but you'll still want it to be right when you start gluing it all in. Okay, so I'm gonna set this over here. Okay, friends, same thing. Line it up. I'm kind of lining it up at the bottom. Oh, I'm gonna lift it. Lay it back down. And I'm just kind of tapping it down. Okay, so there's that one. Now we're gonna blow dry. I'm gonna pick up my Mod Podge and move it. Diana, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Friends, I'm going to do one more quick coat of Mod Podge on the top. Now, if you're not all the way dry, don't do this yet because you'll rip your napkin, okay? So this is just to seal it. It'll make it so that the napkin doesn't absorb impurities in the air. So I'm just going to smooth this on. And then we're going to work on something else before we paint the inside of the frames black. Just because I want to give this a little bit of time to dry before I hit it with the blow dryer. Now this coat, you can see, is thick-ish. Not too thick, but it's just a clear coat basically. So all you're trying to do is clear coat it. All right, so that's going to be drying, and I'm going to do a clear coat on my buffalo check. Now, if you don't do this clear coat, what can happen is if there's like dampness in the air, and let's say you had this in the kitchen, you may get like food particles or whatever that absorbs onto that napkin. This just puts a quick layer of protectant on it so that it won't absorb things into the napkins anymore. Okay, so there are those. I'm going to put my top on my Mod Podge. We're going to do another quick part of the project, and then we're going to come back, and what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll paint that interior frame, okay? But I want that to dry for a little bit. So let's grab our bag full of goodies. And, okay, so these are the two that we're going to use, and yours might look slightly different than mine, but these are the two that we're going to use on this snowman. So what we need to do first is we need to glue our snowman hat together. I'm going to get this glue that I think is already open. Let's see, I already had one on my table. Let's see if it's open. Nope, that one's not open. Okay, so let me open it up. In order to do that, we're going to make sure the two red tops are on. Turn it so that it pierces just barely, friends. Don't glue your fingers together, okay? This is when having those gloves on is a good idea. Okay. And then, all right. So now we're just going to start kind of gluing this together. So I glued the hat piece on there. Then, oh, sorry. Oh, itching all of a sudden. And put this piece on there. Get it as straight as you can, but I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Our little snowman can be a little bit wonky. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. And now we're going to work on this part. Now, you got in your baggie, you got some greenery. This little hat and this stuff will be for just a minute. So you'll see you've got this little, this little bead has a snowman face. And then this one has the buttons. There's the 3 little buttons. And then this is our little pine cones and beads. We've got a toothpick in there. Can't remember right this second what I used the toothpick for, but I'm sure it'll come to me in a minute. And then you got a couple of beads for, or sorry, not beads, buttons for the snowman. Okay. Oh, we also need to paint our noses. So while that's drying, I think that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and grab our orange paint. And it's just a little bitty container of orange. And you're just going to put, it doesn't take much, just a little bit of orange paint on these noses. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to let those orange noses dry. I'm going to wipe some of that paint off of my brush. Then we can go ahead and kind of pick back up while this is drying. We're going to kind of pick back up where we left off over here. So I'm going to grab my black paint and shoot, where did I put my little black? Oh, there's my little black paint. Okay, so you're going to use your black, and I'm just going to use this smaller brush, and we're going to go right in here, kind of with this detail brush, and we're going to paint the inside of the frame. I'm going to have to blow dry this first. Let me hit this with the blow dryer. dry enough. We're gonna go back to this one. If you're just joining me, we're making this little snowman and then these little shelf sitters. Anna, I'm so glad you are too. Are you having to jump off? Sorry. It's taken me a little bit longer than I anticipated to do this craft. Where did my paintbrush? Oh, there's my paintbrush. Okay. So let me move these out of the way and just paint these bottom pieces. Oh, okay, awesome. All right. We're just gonna do that all the way around. That's why I said that I didn't want to paint these to start off with, because I wanted to be able to paint right up to that napkin. And that way, if there was, like if I put my napkin in and there was a little bit of a gap, like I didn't get it quite where I needed to, I can make up for it with my paint. Okay, so that's what we're doing. My paint had a paint boogie in it, and so I'm hoping I have enough. Okay, give me just a second. I need to clean that up just a tiny, tiny bit. Get my, can't get this on here. Okay. All right, y'all give me just a sec. I gotta grab a little bit more black paint because the bottom of mine had a big blob in it. That is not gonna let me paint. So I have to get out my bottle of black. All right. I don't know why I have so much trouble keeping black paint in my craft room. Anybody else? Just me. I feel like that's the one that I'm always reaching for. And friends, it is a little bit easier if you stand it up and kind of rotate your frame while you're painting to get those edges. Okay, so that one is done. So we're gonna set it off to the side, let it dry. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna go right up to the edge. I'm gonna drag my brush toward me. That Mod Podge is a little bit thick right there in those corners, but it will be okay. So we're just gonna do all 4 of these sides. I was just thinking about something in our new house. My son is upstairs in the loft, which was just like the over the garage room. It was like a big open room that we turned into his bedroom, and then we put a wall and a closet up. But poor baby, he has to come all the way downstairs to go to the bathroom. So he just came down. I'm like, that would not work for me as many times as I have to pee every day. Be like, I can't live up here, running up and down the stairs all day. All right. Now, you could have painted the insides of these frames before, but, and it's kind of hard to see because there's still some Mod Podge that still looks white because it hasn't dried yet. But what I wanted was to be able to paint all the way up to those edges. Now, I'm just slapping a little bit more paint right here on this outside frame. I'll do the same thing on this one real quick, just to kind of touch it up just a little bit, because that second color black I used is a little bit darker than the first. I just want it to all be uniform. Okay, now I will blow dry after we work on this little guy. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lid back on here. I think I'm all done with the black. So what I'm gonna do is, your kit came with a marker to do your eyes, okay? I've got a Posca because it's funny, the markers that I ordered, it was like whatever the denomination, is that the right word? Denomination, like how many come in a pack. Whatever it was just enough for me not to have one. So I just figured I would just go ahead and use a marker that I already had. You could use a Sharpie, whatever you want to use. But I'm just doing two little eyes. Then I'll get this, and you see we're going to put our little nose on there. Now you can do your nose either direction, okay? Just want to set it on there and let that hold for just a second. Now, while that is gluing, we'll work on the hat. So we're just going to set this little piece, this is the smaller one, and we're going to wrap it around to the back. We're going to put just a dab. That's what I used the toothpick for, so I didn't glue my fingers when I was working with this ribbon. Okay, so just put that little dab of glue right here. Then, same thing, we're going to go around the back, right at that bottom. Another little dab of glue. I'm going to use my toothpick to hold it in place. I knew there was something. All right. Now, you're probably like, Carrie, you forgot to put the stuff down in there. I didn't, actually. We're going to do that. We're going to poke that in here in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip a little piece of this off. You can rip it, cut it, however you want to do it. I'm probably going to have to cut it. It's a little bit thicker than I thought it was going to be. So you can use as much or as little of this stuff as you want to, but you're going to tuck it right under after you make sure that that glue is holding. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to tuck that right underneath there. You can do it either direction. Now this piece you're going to use on two different parts. So what you're going to do is you're going to unwrap it. If you if you don't usually play with floral stuff, you may not know this, but when it's bound together with this floral tape, you can actually take it apart. So that was just too much for that little bitty snowman hat. So I decided to use it on both snowman hats. But in order to do that, I needed to pull this green tape off. And then, get it? So now we have all these little pieces. And they're all just kind of wound in there together. So I'm just kind of pulling them apart. I'm going to unwind this a little bit more. I'll use my scissors. Kind of strip it. Can't see what I'm doing tonight. I think I'm starting to need bifocals. Anybody else? There we go. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to trim this with my scissors. Okay, so now I've got my little pine cones, and I only have 3 pine cones on here. So what I'll do is I'll use 2 and 1. I'll use the bigger one separate. And I'll put the 2 together. And then I've got, let's see how many berries. I've got an odd number of berries, so I'll do 3 berries with the bigger pine cone. And then 2 berries with the smaller. Okay. Now I'm going to twist these back together. And then I'm going to take that end and just push it up like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it right in there, and then we're going to put a drop of glue down in, I've got to turn this toward me, sorry. We're going to put a drop of glue down in with all of this goodness, okay, so that it will stay glued. All right, so after you get it all tucked in there, we're going to take our glue, and we're just going to do it just like that. And I just put a little dab of glue, and I'm going to leave it sitting there for just a minute and let that get good and glued. Okay, so now we'll jump over to this little frame, and we're doing our snowman stack. We're going to start with the bottom. Now, when I did this, what I found was I didn't want to go straight up. I kind of wanted to tilt it. So that's how I did that one. This first one, your bead is tilted, so just tilted slightly toward the front. Oops, sorry. So that you can see these little, I guess we're gonna call them buttons. Okay, so let's set this right here, put a dab of glue, and then we're gonna set this on here and tilt it so that our buttons are kind of tilted forward. Okay, we're gonna let that one dry for just a second. We're kind of doing all of them at once. We've got this one that is gonna have the hat. Let's see, and that. Okay, and then we still need to put use the marker and do his eyes and his mouth. So let's draw that. I'm just going to get you can use your Sharpie or whatever marker came in your kit. And we're just following that etched line. Okay, now we're going to do the nose. I did my nose away from the little curve on his mouth. So we're going to do it like that. So I'm just going to set my dab of glue. Set that right there. Okay, we're going to work on this piece. you're gonna need this red and white like candy stripe. And we're gonna do really similar to what we did before, except for these are kind of tilted up at an angle on the back just because of the way that this snowman hat is cut. Okay, so I'm gonna use my toothpick again so I don't glue my fingers in here. Now let me spin it around to make sure it looks okay. Yep, and it's okay if it doesn't sit all the way flat. That's totally all right. Put that one on here. Same thing. Hold it down. Not sure I got enough glue on that one. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on here where we stick our greenery under there, but the difference is gonna be this piece is gonna sit on top. Okay, can y'all see that? So I'm gonna glue these pieces in place on here. I don't want it all the way down. Okay. There we go. And then this little piece, I'm gonna sit right on top of it in the middle. Okay, I'm just gonna hold these down for just a second. Okay, now we're gonna take and do that same thing we did a minute ago where we kind of wired these back together. I'm gonna wire these back together. And spread them out however you want to do them. I'm gonna get a little piece of this. You can do one or two pieces, whatever you want to do. I may do that piece. Is that gonna be too much? I think we'll cut one of these out. So there's just two. Now the main thing is that they both are facing the right direction. Okay, so now I've got this whole little group. I want to kind of flatten it so that it'll stay glued down there. Okay. Whoops. Okay. And I'm going to pick this up and slide that underneath. Now, same thing. I'm just going to kind of flip this around until I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to put a dab of glue right there at the bottom where those come together. Then I'm going to take this piece and just kind of put it right along the top and smush it down. Now this might take a little bit more glue because it's not flush. So I'm just going to hold this down. Okay. Look how cute. Friends, isn't he so cute? Okay, so this one's done. I'm going to lay it back while it dries though. We're going to come back to this one. We're going to put another dab of glue on here. And then I'm going to arrange my snowman head. Just hold it long enough for that glue to set, okay? This is the hardest part, is getting that glue to grab. Okay, as soon as that glue grabs, you can get a little bit more glue on the top, and then you're going to glue your hat. I glued mine kind of at an angle. Do it however you want to. Look how cute he is. Oh, I love him. He's so adorable. He's so, he's so fun and just like whimsical. Okay. Then we're going to work on these. Now, you can glue your buttons down before, thank you, Cindy. You can glue your buttons down before your scarf. I think I'm going to need a little bit more glue. I moved him too quickly. All right, I'm going to set that right there. That glue set. I shake. Y'all know I have a trimmer, so I shake, and so sometimes it's easier for me to like set things down when they're being glued. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with this. You're going to go from the back to the front, and you're just going to go underneath and twist so that the ribbon pattern is showing the right direction. Okay, so I'm going to do it kind of tight so that the pattern is showing the right direction. Get it as, you know, as whatever placement you want. And then we're going to just kind of smash it down and glue. Okay, now I do want to cut my, didn't do that. I need this to come down in the back. Pull this down in the back. Okay. All right. So I want this pattern, and you can see how all of the ribbon pattern is in the front. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take and put a dab of glue and then stick that ribbon down so that the pattern is showing the right direction. Okay. I'm just going to kind of hold it there for a second. And this is just the bottom one, okay? This top piece, we're still gonna lay over and glue in just a minute, okay? Uh-oh, that time my toothpick stuck. So I may have to do that again. All right, I need my scissors. Okay, so this piece, I'm just cutting at an angle. I did not dovetail that. Now this piece that's going over the top is going to cross over, and then we're going to glue all of those down together. Okay, so it all kind of gets glued together. Then I don't have to glue the rest of that ribbon on. I just have to worry about right there where those pieces come together. And while I'm holding that, I can place my buttons wherever I want them. And then I can glue my little buttons down. The good thing about the super glue is you can set your buttons where you want them. You can glue right through the middle of your buttons, like right through those little holes. All right, let's see. So I can't tilt it yet because they're still sitting, they're still being glued, but that is how we finish that one. So, friends, I think that's it. I think that's all. Like, how fun was that? So now you can, if you have a tiered tray, this would be a great little set of 3 to take you into winter snow time. Everyone's putting Christmas up, but you still want something fun out. So we've got this, and then you've got your little snowman. But if you don't have a tiered tray set, that's okay. I had mine sitting on my mantle. Here, let me tilt this back up so I can see you again. Okay, sorry. But I had mine on my mantle, and I just had the 2 like shelf sitters, and then I had the little snowman right between them. So I hope that y'all like this project. This was one of my favorite boxes to put together, and I felt like it would just take us into Valentine's Day until we're ready to put our Valentine's decor out. But I hope that y'all like this, and hope you enjoyed it. So I will be back. I'm not sure, I don't have a date time, But I'm certain I'll be back to craft with y'all very soon. Friends, look how cute he is. How cute is he? I want to show y'all though, if you look really close, right along there where it looks like bright white, that is still Mod Podge that has not dried yet. So that's going to dry clear. So you won't see all of that. But what would be really cute too is if you had some Snow Tech. You could even put Snow Tech down at the bottom of these little frames, and then it would look like there was snow sitting there. So that's just another fun little idea. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I'd love it if you would sprinkle and share this crafting video with your friends. But I wish y'all all happy New Year, and please stay safe. Don't drink and drive. And I look forward to crafting with y'all in 2022. Bye, friends. Have a good night.